What's going on, everyone? Josh here with Piano Marvel. Today, we're in Method 1D. This is number 14, lucky number 14. And I really hope, well, as always, I hope that my videos are helpful for you. Because last video, I talked a lot about rhythm because we introduced a brand new concept called the dot. And that's a really bad looking arrow, but this little dot right here, okay? This guy. This is what we learned about. And I told you, after instilling yet again the importance and making sure that you really understand the note values for a whole note in 4/4 time, a half note, a quarter note, and even the eighth note. And the reason why learning those is so important and getting them just baked into your foundation and awareness and subconscious is because now we're introducing this dot, which what it does is it takes half of the value of the note and adds it back in. Now that was pretty easy for back here with the dotted half note because a half note in 4/4, it just gets 2 beats. Whole note gets 4, quarter note gets 1, and eighth note gets half of a beat. Okay, so half note right here. Again, this is just a review. If you want more of the explanation, check out the last video, 1D number 13. You can see here we have a half note getting 2 beats, but then it has this dot, and that means it's going to take half its value, which is 1. 2 divided by 1 is, 2 divided by 2 is 1. And so 2 plus 1 equals 3. So we're going to extend that same logic now to quarter notes. Now a quarter note gets 1 beat. If you divide 1 by 2, you get a half. So now this video was asked from me to record 4 months ago, 3 months ago, because it is a more advanced concept. And what's really tricky about this concept, and I'm very excited to talk about it. My dad actually introduced this to me when I was probably 12 years old. It's called syncopation. And modern music, I think it was Scott Joplin was one of the earliest adopters, well, definitely one of the most famous and well-known for using syncopation. And that is when you have a rhythm here, just focus on me for a second. Don't worry about anything else. Just look at this. We have a rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Everyone uses 4/4 today, right? That's what I always talk about. That's what I talked about in the last video. If we start doing offbeat stuff, that's almost starting to sound like. That's a really, really bad rendition of Bob Marley, but 1 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, those are happening off of the beat. Now, hopefully that sound that I've just played for you for a little while there, hopefully that's a familiar sound, because that is what this exercise is introducing to you. It is syncopation. It is playing and accenting notes that are not on the beat. That's actually a big thing about what jazz is all about. And I think jazz, and I'll just quickly say this, I think jazz is one of those, it kind of carried that tradition from what Scott Joplin started, and it kind of carried it into modern day. Music is always evolving. You can see this going back to Bach, and even before that, medieval time, you can see how music has always been evolving and people breaking and changing rules. I have an article on this. If you ever want to hear it, you can know, I can email that to you if you just email me. At josh@pianomarvel.com, which you should know by now. But regardless, let's check out how do we actually figure out this value. So you divide 1 by 2 and it's 0.5. So What does that mean? Well, if we take that beat, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and we're gonna 3 and 4, and we're gonna place this second note on the and of 2. Now we talked about the and, or we talked about beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, beat 4 a few videos ago. I think it was 1D number 1 or around there. So if you're not familiar with that concept, you can go check that out for a deep dive. But we're going to be placing this 8th note right on the and, because a dotted quarter note is going to get more than 1 beat. It gets a beat and a half. Okay, so what does that sound like? I'm going to play it for you. Here we go. I'm going to play it in practice. Just listen for this first time. 1, 2, 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3. And if you want to subdivide by saying and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, why I say subdivide, and I've talked about that before, I forget what video it was, but subdividing to the smallest value that you need, and since this 8th note is used in pretty much every measure, if you want to count with ands all the time, it helps you be rhythmically precise. I just talked about this a few videos ago. Rhythm is so important in music, all kinds of music. There's only a couple exceptions I can think of, but rhythm is super important. So using subdividing, it's like another tool in your tool belt to help you make sure, like if you were building a house, when I built this little office studio, I was making sure that I was measuring everything so that I didn't have one piece of wood that was too long and the other ones that didn't. You want things to be precise. You want them to be accurate. Now, is there some times where you have small inconsistencies? Yes, we're human, but it's not like I'm not using a tape measure at all. There's a reason why a tape measure was invented. And kind of, it's maybe a stretch of an analogy, but there's a reason why there's rhythm, and that's why rhythm is so important. It's because it literally is the foundation for communicating thoughts to other musicians and also, most importantly, to the audience. So you got to really make sure you're precise. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's why one of the reasons I love the metronome and why I've recommended you all to use this metronome when you're playing. And of course, it's going to sit here and make this harder, but it's going to give you that exact pulse. And your job is to learn how to play with it. And you got to use your ears for that. And it may be hard. So maybe you don't want to use the metronome all by itself, because maybe doing something like this, especially learning syncopation, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, that might be hard for you. And that's totally fine. So maybe what you want to do is you want to go default mix, and you want to just turn that metronome up just a little bit. Again, you want to use Piano Marvel as a tool to help you understand music. So let's listen to what this sounds like with a little bit of metronome.
Set, go.
We don't hear it enough, so let's turn it up a little bit. Okay, there it is. So let's turn this mix down just a little bit so that we can make sure we hear it. Get things balanced. This is one of the great things about using this mixer, is you can use it to help exactly tailor what you need in that moment. So check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. For me right now, that feels like a good mix, because you can hear that track, but you can really hear that metronome. Okay? So that's one thing too, that you can use this metronome, this mixer. But now let's listen to this again. Let's count it together.
1, 2, set, go.
Now maybe you want to hear that ba ba dum bum ba ba dum a little louder. So what you would want to do, you want to turn this music tracks up and listen.
1, 2, set, go.
And try to match it. But the best way to match it is to really make sure that you have that internal pulse. you can hear that beat. You can hear that metronome. That's what the metronome is. Its job is to teach you the beat. Okay? So I know I went down a huge rabbit hole there. I got on my soapbox again, but hopefully that is helpful for you, because this could be a stumbling block. And I've heard people going back, a few months ago, that's why people wanted a video for this, is they really want to understand how do they feel that. And I think after watching this, hopefully you have a better idea of how to understand and comprehend this and then apply it. Okay. So as always, we are just taking one new concept and we're just slightly building on many, many different items, and they're accumulating so much. You have whole notes, you have half notes, you have these different notes. We're doing so many things, but we're introducing them one piece at a time. Let's go through this in practice mode one more time. Again, we're using our left hand. We're using this number 1 as the finger. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3. Right hand, here we go, and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and play this. I hope that this has been a helpful video for you. I want to say that before I finish it, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, always you can feel free to email me. I'm going to go ahead and play this. And if you want to play along with me, you totally can. Remember that if you're not hearing these exact same sounds, the reason is probably because you're not using an iPad or an Android tablet with our app, which actually has the ability to use the audio tracks that we have that were made in-house by David Fetkevich, who's one of our awesome employees. They sound really good. I love them so much. If you're wanting to know why I'm able to do some of these things with a mixer, that is why. And if you have any more questions on that, you can feel free to ask me. But without further ado, let's give this a play. And I really hope that this is giving you that understanding of syncopation. It's a really, really advanced it's a slightly more advanced concept, but it's exciting that you're here. So kudos to yourself for getting here. Make sure you practice hard, get that 100%, and I will see you in the next video. Good luck.
Set, go.